Hi and welcome to the Conan Fitness Exercise of the Month. We're looking at an ITB stretch this month, or iliotibial band stretch. Some people call it runner's stretch, just because it's typical that we get some pathology in runners, particularly when the side of the leg, or the ITB that it's called, gets tight, and there's quite a bit of friction around the knee. So we'll go into how that occurs, and not just stretching, but also a little bit of rehab with just some massaging techniques. So, bit of background: the ITB is a band of tissue that runs down the side of the leg. Basically a band of tissue that makes a Y kind of shape from the glute muscles attach into it, muscles of the tensor fascia right on the hip pocket there attach into it, and a lot of the lateral quad fascia attaches into it, and it asserts just below the knee, and because of its insertion position, if it gets tight, which is common in runners, every time we move it basically has like a friction on the knobby part of the knee. It just that friction causes a bit of heat, gets inflamed, and can cause a lot of knee problems, not to mention patella tracking laterally. So what we want to do is keep it stretched and also keep it massaged. So the first stretch we're going to look at, or the main stretch we're going to look at for the ITB, is where you set up, where you can get a good grip of something, because you want to hold yourself on balance. What we're going to do is get into kind of like a squat position and throw the leg that we're stretching right behind the other leg, as far back as you can get it, and we're squatting down into that position until we feel a stretch down the outer part of that leg. You might need to play with it, where you stand taller or lean over it more, kind of like play with it until you get the stretch on the outer part of that hip, and it won't feel a hugely intense stretch. Particularly because a lot of the fascia itself doesn't have sensory nerves in it. The muscles do, but the fascia itself doesn't. So you won't feel like an intense stretch, although you'll just get the sensation that you know it's in a lengthened position. So that's from one angle. The other leg I'll be doing this way, sitting into a squat stance, throwing that leg further and further back until I can get this outer hip to feel the stretch. From the stretches, that's obviously a good way to stretch that iliotibial band, but it's also it has a better beneficial effect if it's done after massaging it. So let's have a look at using a foam roller to massage the ITB. So here we've got the foam roller, and what we're going to do is use it as a massaging tool to massage the outer part of that leg. The way we set up is on one elbow, taking my body weight. The leg that I'm going to be massaging is dead straight, starting at the hip, and the top leg is just there for balance, just to take a little bit of my body weight off it, so not all of the weight to start with is in the stretch, and also to help roll me up and down the foam roller. So what I'm going to do is start basically on that hip bone, and all I'm going to do is roll my body just slowly up and down that foam roller, massaging the top fibres of the iliotibial band, and as it loosens out, I'm just going to gradually go into a larger and larger range of motion until I massage all the way down basically to the knee. So I can roll that ball down a little further and go all the way down to the knee, from my hip all the way to the knee. You can also roll slightly. If I lean forward just slightly, it hits slightly more the anterior fibres of that, the lateral quad and the ITB, and I can also lean back slightly to roll all the way up and down, and that's going to hit slightly more towards the rear fibres of the lateral leg and the ITB. But trying to get a nice long range of motion, and just slow. You don't want to do it fast like a normal massage. You want to just break up that tight tissue, that tight muscle fibres, and then it's really good to put together the massaging techniques of the foam roller with the stretching techniques of that ITB stretch. So give it a shot, folks. Keep the health of the leg up to date with these stretches and massage techniques, and all the best with your running.